Danmachi Season 4, Part 2, Episode 9. And this episode was actually really great. I didn't expect the episode to be anything, spectacular before watching it. Of course, I didn't expect it to be bad either. I was just expecting your normal, regular Danmachi episode. But I gotta say that I was wrong. And I'm glad that I was wrong because this episode, like I said, was actually really, really great. One of the better episodes, if not the best episode of the Part 2 of the fourth season. Probably of the whole fourth season because I mean this episode was actually really great. The amount of things, the amount of action, the amount of character development we saw in this episode was a lot. I mean, the first part of the episode of how the Astraea Familia was, disbanded, putting it in a light way because we know it wasn't actually disbanded. We know that it was actually killed. But yeah, the first half was actually really brutal. Although we already knew what happened to the Astraea Familia, it is still pretty brutal to see it happen for the first time, in screen. We already knew, but oh man, the scenes, the way the episode showed us how the Astraea Familia got basically killed by the Juggernaut was actually pretty brutal. I saw a lot of blood, a lot of horrible things in the episode, which is not a bad thing, of course. I actually enjoy those type of things because you don't actually expect to see those type of things in shonen animes like Danmachi. So yeah, when you see those type of things, instead of being, gruesome or something like that, it is actually pretty surprising and welcoming in a good way. And yeah, I mean, I can already see why Ryu was really traumatized by the events of the Juggernaut. Because if we remember correctly, when she saw the Juggernaut again, I can remember her face and she was really scared of it. I mean, she was really traumatized of it. And yeah, now that we saw those scenes in this episode, I can totally understand her because the things she saw in this episode was really crazy. I mean, people sacrificing themselves, people running, people screaming, people being scared. I mean, it was horrible to be honest. And to be able to survive and have all of those memories in your mind was, I guess you can say, really tough for her because everybody sacrificed themselves for her and she has to now carry the weight of all of them. So yeah. And yeah, I mean, we see how she got into the dark side, if you can call it like that, of killing people, of killing not necessarily any random people, but the people that caused the Juggernaut to appear, anyone that had connections to them. I guess you can say it is not exactly a bad thing because at the end of the day she was killing bad people. I mean, the people that she was killing, it is not like they were saints or anything like that. They were actually bad people, but at the same time it is bad for her in her opinion because that is not what the Astraea Familia would want her to do. So yeah. And then in the second part of the episode we saw that they actually survived the Colosseum because in the last episode we saw how they were, I guess you can say, fighting the monsters. Bell returned to save Ryu and we didn't know exactly what was going to happen after that because the episode ended. And then in this episode we saw that they actually survived to an underground tunnel. Actually, that was actually surprising because apparently nobody knew that there was some underground tunnel under the Colosseum. So yeah, maybe that could be the reason why they are safe, why they are able to get out of the deep floors, because we know that at the end of the episode they encounter a new place that was never talked about before. Apparently this place has been unexplored. So yeah, maybe further on the tunnel they can find new things. To be honest, I don't know if this fourth season will actually conclude everything that was introduced in it. For example, in the most important thing, Bale and Ryu getting out of the deep floors. The reason why I'm not sure is because, well, there are only two episodes left. There are still a lot of things that can happen. We still don't know what is going to happen with the other guys, with Aisha, with Wealth, with the Shenos. But I guess we'll find out in two episodes. And yeah, the second part of the episode was full and charged with emotional stuff. We saw how Bale and Ryu in the second part of the episode had a really deep talk, about ideals and about things like that. And we saw how in this same episode, in the second part of the episode, Ryu changed her mentality from, doubting herself, not really knowing if she was actually on the right path to, actually, trying to survive and changing her mind. So yeah, those words that Bale told her were actually really, really really powerful. And yeah, at the same time, it is funny how we can see that Belle has conquered another heart because we can see throughout this second part of the episode her blushing throughout, like I said, throughout the whole episode. So yeah, actually really funny to see Belle conquer another heart, if you can call it like that. But I gotta say that actually Ryu is an actually really interesting character. Before the fourth season, I didn't really think that much of her. I knew that she was powerful, mysterious, but I didn't have a solid opinion on her. But now in this fourth season, she has become one of my favorite characters. I guess that is what a fourth season, a whole season does for you. It makes you a really polished, a really good character. One of the most complex, if not the most complex characters out of all Danmachi. So yeah, that says a lot about her. And I hope we can see more of her in the future. I hope this isn't just the fourth season that only focuses around her. I know she's not the main character, but I hope in the future we can still see cameos or have a minor role here and there. But yeah, that was everything that I wanted to say about the episode. Like I said at the beginning, a really great episode, one of the better ones out of the whole fourth season, not only the part two. So let's see what the next episode brings us. I think the next episode is the previous to last episode. So yeah, I think a lot of things will get more interesting in the final two episodes. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my review, and I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.